had the experience where a lot of women will bend the truth of what actually happened to make them seem in as favorable of a position as possible. I think it's the reverse.
I feel like
guys do it
depend.
too, but I do think women do that shit way more.
I agree. I think it does depend. Obviously, I feel like it depends on who they go to. Like if it's girls going to their like absolutely best friend roommates, like you two.
Jared House super chatted $50.
Thank you, Jared.
You cannot let your parents or friends get involved because they will always be biased. Obviously, you should say something if you are being abused, but still.
Yeah. But it's just like if there's a little spat, a little argument, like if you're just always going to your friends and it's just, I think it's bad for the relationship and you're just coaching your friends to basically hate your significant other. And then of course, like there's always like, I don't know if any of you know, like on again, off again, people that are in these on again, off again relationships, like constantly breaking up, getting back together. That's when it's the worst because super toxic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So did you want to continue on, Sydney?
Nope, we're good. Okay. I think we touched it.
I wanted to say something though. Like I agree to a certain extent that like, oh, maybe you should, limit some things that happen in between, like in your private relationship. But there's like a certain point where if your significant other is constantly and maybe not abusing, because that's a big word to use, like that's a serious word.
Yeah.
But like if there's a endless amount of bad things happening in your relationship, like I totally believe that you need a strong support system behind you. So it's like going to someone like your friends or your family, like in certain times, I feel like is necessary, especially if this is like a constant thing. Are you referring to like it's only like, oh, like a little fight here and there, or like what? Because if it keeps happening, what, you just don't want them to tell anyone about it? Like no, like I mean I also just overshare, so I tell them like everything. But it's like, how could you not share all these terrible things that keep happening?
But
I don't think it's black and white. I don't think it's you can never say anything to your friends. And I mean, if things are really on the rocks, then sure. But I think if it's like an occasional, argument, and you're also never telling them that things are really good too, like if the only thing they hear is the bad, but there are good moments, and perhaps most of the time it is good, but there are occasionally some disagreements, and you only go to your friends for advice when it's bad instead of occasionally saying, oh, things are great, I love him so much, whatever it is, then I think that's when it can get a bit problematic. I think also, I mean, I don't know, some of you are, if you do therapy or whatever, I think that's a really good outlet too, and I think that's can be a better outlet.
But can I also say too, like, I see it from that point of view, but it's also like, I have a girlfriend of mine and she comes to me whenever she has like, oh, this happened with the boyfriend, or oh, he did this, or oh, he like, it's just like, she comes to me with all these like bad things, and she tells me about the good things as well. But now every time she tells me something about him, I was just like, oh, I don't like him. I want you to like end things with him, just because she only comes to me with the negative. So it makes me only see that side of him regardless of how good things can be.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to wrap up on this point soon.